Hey kids, let me tell you a Bible story. There was this guy named Jonah. God came to him and told him he wanted him to go to a big city called Nineveh, where the people were disobeying God. He wanted Jonah to preach to them. Jonah did not want to go, so he decided to hide from God. God apparently never hangs out in the town of Tarshish, so Jonah decided to hide there. He booked passage on a boat that was going there. God, not caring how his actions affect innocent people, created a great storm, and the people on the boat with Jonah were frightened that they were going to die. After superstitiously casting lots to figure out whose God was mad, it was determined that Jonah was the subject of his God's anger. So the other people on the boat, or God, depending on which verse you read, threw Jonah overboard, and the storm stopped. Jonah, while drowning, was swallowed by a great fish, or if you believe Jesus' version, a whale, and ended up in the fish's stomach. Let's think about that for a minute, kids. The largest bony fish is the ocean sunfish. The biggest ocean sunfish ever caught was about 58 inches tall, with a mouth about 12 inches tall. No way it could have swallowed a man. What about the biggest fish without bones, the whale shark? It certainly could have gotten Jonah into its mouth, but it is a filter feeder, so no way Jonah would have made it to its stomach. So what if Jesus was right and it was a whale? The biggest whale, the blue whale, is also the biggest animal ever. It is a filter feeder as well. Jonah would easily fit in its mouth, but would never get to its stomach. The biggest whale that is not a filter feeder is a sperm whale. Its normal food is the giant squid, which is bigger than a man, so Jonah would fit. The sperm whale has two stomachs. The first stomach has no acid, a major plus if you're going to hang out there. But air goes to a whale's lungs, not its stomach, so there's no air in its stomach. Jonah would not be dissolved by acid, but he would have to hold his breath for the 3 days he's in there. Raise your hand, kids, if you have ever held your breath for 3 days. None of you, huh? Somehow, a whale that is more than 50 feet long and more than 60 tons in weight managed to get close enough to the shore to vomit Jonah out on dry land. Jonah, realizing that God is real mean when you do not listen to him, decides to go to Nineveh. He tells the people there that God is going to kill them all in 40 days. The people repented. That is, the people and the animals wore sackcloths, went without food and water, and cried to God for forgiveness. So kids, when God is mad at you, you and your pets should wear an itchy sack, not eat or drink, and beg God for forgiveness. God repents of his plan to kill them and all their animals. Kids, did you know that God repents 16 times in the Bible? Jonah gets mad that God decided not to kill them after insisting he go there to tell them God is going to kill them. He goes outside of the town and builds a shady booth to sit in and waits to see what happens. God apparently did not think the booth was shady enough, so he provided a gourd to give shade to Jonah. Jonah was glad for the gourd. The next morning, God had a worm destroy the gourd and had a hot wind blow on Jonah. Jonah got mad, and God said, "Why are you mad about the gourd? But you were not mad about me killing 120,000 people and their animals. You should be glad I changed my mind." The end. So kids, what do we learn from this story? God is not everywhere, because there are apparently towns where you can hide from God. God will torture or kill anyone and their animals who do not follow his every whim. God expects people to torture themselves in order to be forgiven, by doing things like wearing sackcloths and starving themselves. God does not care about innocent bystanders like the other people on the boat, and God does not understand biology. Or, God and this story are a myth. Reality trumps mythology.